Hi everybody, welcome to episode 2 of the Creators with Dave Doe. And today we got a quick little show for you today. We're going to talk about the first episode, some quick lessons learned on that. Today I'm also going to talk about the first question. We're going to delve into that. And after that we're going to meet LEANNA VERRUCCI. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Ignite Center here. So to start things off, the first episode was fun. It was a lot more nerve-wracking than we had originally anticipated. I was surprised by the amount of people that showed up to help us, and it was a little intimidating at first, but after a while we started to get our groove, and it was an awesome experience. If you haven't noticed, you're looking at a much more relaxed Dave today. This is something that's really exciting. It means a lot to me. So when everybody wants to be a perfectionist of what they do, they tend to overanalyze everything. So the takeaway from this is to jump into something that's not comfortable. Get out of your comfort zone and experience new things, because without that you're never going to grow as an individual, and your business is not going to grow. So always putting yourself in a new situation will always benefit you in the end. There's a lot of lessons. If you make mistakes, document them. Learn from those mistakes. If you meet new connections, make sure you keep those connections, and make sure that your business is always evolving. And that always happens by continually going out and doing something new every day. So that was episode 1. It was fun, and we learned a lot for sure. Going into the first question of the show isn't one that's been sent to us via email or anything like that. It was a question that's been asked to me by multiple students from multiple classes, and they never knew that their question would never be put on a show or anything like that. I didn't have a plan to do this show then, but regardless, the question is so important, and in its basic form, people ask me, like, what does this course have to do with my business? You know, so for example, if it was social media, they're like, how does social media help me with my business? For some reason, they weren't grasping the importance of the topic. Or if it was accounting, like, why do I need to know accounting? I'm going to hire someone to do that for me. So every class had its own variation of that question. And when I was asked that, my response has always been, you know, if your accountant's talking to you, you need to understand what they're saying. You know, if you're spearheading this company, you're the CEO, you're the boss, you're making decisions, you need to know what the repercussions of those decisions are going to be before they get to the accountant, because it's not their job to make those decisions for you. All they're going to do is report everything that you've been doing. They don't prevent you from making mistakes. So you need to understand accounting. You need to understand everything that you're doing in your classes. For social media, it doesn't matter what business you're in. You might have the best business idea, you might have the best services available, but if no one knows you exist, you don't have a business. So it doesn't matter which class you're in. Understand everything that's being served to you. You've paid for these classes, first of all, and you gotta dig in. I mean, you chose to take the entrepreneurship course. You have to step up, and you got to take everything, and you got to learn everything. Don't be submissive and saying, I don't need to know this, I'm just going to hire someone else to do that. Especially as a startup, you're not going to be able to afford all these people to do everything for you. So you got to stop fantasizing. You got to learn everything, and trust me, as an entrepreneur starting out, you're going to be doing everything by yourself, because no one's going to help someone who's planning on getting everybody to do everything else for them. So any questions to follow up on this, you have to ask us. I'm going to go out of my way to get these things answered for you. So if you got a startup and you got some first questions, ask them, whether it's on Facebook, or if you want to reach out to us on Twitter, or the email address. Just ask these questions whoever you can. Read the blogs. If you have a question being generated from reading any of these blogs, ask that question. we're going to get back to you. And it's going to inspire answers and from other people, and it's going to inspire more people to ask questions. And that's what we're trying to do, is build a community where everybody can help each other and everybody can learn from everybody else's mistakes. So be that person who asks that first question, and we'll make sure that it gets seen by all the right people. So that's what I've got for your first question of the show. Don't be shy. That's all I can say. So quickly moving on, I'm going to introduce you to LEANNA VERRUCCI. She runs the Ignite Center here at Algonquin College. And hi, LEANNA.
Hi, Dave.
If you want to take 2 seconds, tell us a little bit of who you are and what you do at the Ignite Center and what the Ignite Center has to offer the students at Algonquin.
So, yep, name is LEANNA VERRUCCI. I'm the Entrepreneurship Manager here at the college, and I'm here to kind of help facilitate everybody's kind of exposing, engaging, enabling to everything that's innovative and entrepreneurial at the college. So we do that in a number of different ways, and I can talk a little bit about the center. And so the center,
sure.
The center really is seen as a one-stop shop for anybody, students, faculty, or staff. And it provides kind of an ecosystem of partnerships, people, resources, programs to help anyone here in their innovative and entrepreneurial journeys. So we really look to expose and engage and enable students, faculty, and staff here. And we do that in a number of different ways. So through the center we have workshops, we have seminars, we have co-working space. So there's a number of different spaces that you can come here and sign in and sign out if you've got client meetings or you want to work on your business. We also have Summit, which is our kind of capstone project that, that helps students 18 to 29 or people 18 to 29 in their entrepreneurial journey. So they come to us with an idea and through a bunch of workshops, over 60 different workshops over 3 months in the summer, given by 45 different facilitators, internal and external to the college, they move their business forward.
Right.
So the hope is that they come in with an idea and then they end up 3 months later with a market-ready product. That doesn't always happen. It depends on what idea it is. So last year in Summit we had some people who launched right away. And then we had one girl who's working on the largest eco-dome in the world. So it's a 25 it's an acre. So in 3 months, she was not able to do that. But she's been working on the business. She's got some space in the back. So we got her started on her journey. And through that, she met mentors, because we also have a mentorship program here. So we do a number of different things to help people in a number of different ways. And I guess our thing is that you walk through the door, you have any question. If we can't answer it or we can't help you through what we have here, then we will direct you out to the ecosystem, because we're now quite involved, with all the different entrepreneurial and innovative things that are happening within the community. So sometimes we're not the best person to help you, depending on what you need. So we will send you to somebody who we think can move you through. And
the community is not the Algonquin community, but it's the Ottawa community.
Yeah, and sometimes it's actually even Toronto as well. We actually had for Summit people come in from Mars Innovation District to do some things to help with market research intelligence. So they're experts in that. So we brought them in to do a seminar on that. So AC system, ecosystem, Ottawa, and then a little bit further either. We're trying.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a couple of things. You mentioned workshops.
Yep.
You mentioned Summit.
Yep.
We'll touch a little bit more on those.
Sure.
But I guess what you're trying to say is this is a great place to validate a business idea.
Yep.
It's a safe place to validate your business idea. You have something that you're interested in doing a little more research on, come on in. LEANNA is a great place to start that conversation. You're not going to find a friendlier place, because trust me, outside of this little building, it's not so friendly. So make as many friends as you can inside the Ignite Center. Talk to people about your ideas. Get them validated, and it'll definitely get you directed on the right course to determine whether or not you're going to pursue your idea or not. But a great first place to go to. So a little bit about a workshop. Can you give us a little idea of one in particular? So
this has been open since February of this year. So we're looking at whatever that is, sorry, 7 or 8 months.
7 months.
Thank you.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
And so it's actually a pilot project for us as well. So we're learning how to use the space and what people are looking for. So we're always interested to hear what needs people are looking for from us. We get a lot of funding questions, like can you fund our entrepreneurial venture? And we say that basically the only way we can do that is through Summit, because when you come through Summit, there's a stipend that you get for being with us, hitting specific milestones. But what we hear a lot is we need help with specific things, like can you talk to us about UX design? What's a business model canvas? How do you go about doing a business model canvas?
Right.
You know what, I have an idea. I don't even know if it's a good idea. How do I validate that idea? So we've built workshops around some of those questions. So we've done a business model canvas workshop. We did an ideation day where people came in with their idea and they kind of tore it apart and people asked questions, and then it was like, okay, this is a great, this is a great germination of an idea. Now can you take it and go elsewhere? Maybe you're going to do some market research. You're going to go talk to some people.
And you tell them where to go to.
Yeah, we absolutely do.
You tell them exactly where to go.
Yeah, and we also have what's starting to be in with Summit, kind of our other kind of base thing that we're really proud of is our mentorship program.
Right.
So it started with Andrew Fody, who is our executive in residence about 2.5 years ago. So he was one person.
Yes.
And now it's grown to about a pool of 25 different mentors. So we're trying to build an even bigger pool with specific industry-specific mentors or question-specific mentors. So we have people who come in who say, I need IP help,
Right.
So we would send them to somebody specific. Or I need to understand, I don't know how, I'm moving along, but I have problems selling. So we would try to set them up with somebody, and if you're an app developer, we're not going to set you up with a restaurateur. But if you're a restaurateur, we're not going to set you up with an app developer.
Right.
And then starting in September, we've done something which is working extremely well, is we have entrepreneur in residence open hours. So Chris Dore, who is an entrepreneur, who's the entrepreneur in residence at Pembroke, and also is faculty, part-time faculty here. So he teaches in the School of Business and in the Entrepreneur Accelerator program. He has open hours here 2 days a week for 6 hours. Anybody can sign up, and anybody can come and ask him any question. And he's what we call kind of a general entrepreneur. So he's done a number of different business cycles.
Right.
So if he doesn't have the answer, or he feels there's someone more specific, like if it's an IP question or something app development, he will then set you up with a mentor. But you can come and ask, we've had everything from I've got 100 business ideas, I don't know what to do, to something, I need $50,000 to do this.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, but a typical meeting with a mentor is about 1 hour long, and then this is your chance to spill your guts on your idea.
Exactly.
And you'll be impressed on how well they allow you to articulate, or they'll guide you in a way to help you articulate what your problems are. And for a lot of people, they haven't even gone through that process. It's just such a big it's like a cloud of an idea, and what they're going to do is pick all the important parts that you need to concentrate on first, and put them in an order and start you on your path on figuring out what your next step is going to be.
Yeah. I always equate them to, like, I have a master's in psychology and I did some counseling, and I always say they're like a therapist. So they get you to figure out the answer on your own. They don't tell you what to do, because they're kind of empowering you. So have you thought about this? Okay, if you haven't, how do you think, what do you think the next steps are to do that? So you're learning as you go, and it's not somebody telling you, now go out and do this, go out and do this, go out and do this.
It's easy to tell people what to do.
Yeah, you don't learn. Right?
You don't learn.
You don't learn that.
But there's definitely a sense of caring too, right?
Absolutely.
Because they're taking you through the steps. They're trying to, one thing I mentioned in the last video was that the difference between entrepreneurs and bosses, that entrepreneurs pull and bosses push, right? And so I get the sense from what you're saying about the mentors is that they're participating in this polling thing where they're not giving you all the answers, they're just setting yourself up to build the skills you need to learn all these skills for yourself.
Yeah, and also helping you
with proper guidance.
Learn from their mistakes.
Learn from their mistakes, and they're not going to be judging.
Absolutely
There's no judgments here. There's no bad ideas.
No.
There's just validations,
Yeah.
and helping you not waste any time on something that may not be fruitful.
Yeah.
And
then back to, I guess, if I didn't answer your question, we're also going to be starting some lunch and learns. So on Thursday, I think we'll pick Thursday, but we'll let everybody know, because we have a newsletter now, so anybody can sign up for our newsletter. If you come into the Ignite Center, we have a list, if you like a sign-up sheet. Tells about our competitions that we're doing, some funding opportunities, some stuff that's going on inside the college, in the Ottawa ecosystem
Right.
and globally again, and also the lunch and learns that we're hopefully going to be starting. So if anybody has any suggestions for stuff they would like to see, like a LinkedIn workshop, we did a time management one, that's what we're here for.
So because the Ignite Center is not just for business students, it's for any student who's got any question on business or entrepreneurship. Just so you know, the Ignite Center is located just beside the B Building cafeteria. So feel free. You recognize these green walls. Once you walk by the room, you're going to see it. You're going to know you're in the right place.
Yeah.
So did you want to take a couple more seconds to tell us a little bit more what Summit is?
Sure. So I want to pick up on a point that you said, which is really, really important. This is definitely not for just the School of Business. And I think that's something, people assume entrepreneurship and innovation is always business, or like from the School of Business. But to the point of Summit, the majority of the students that came into Summit or participants that came in were not from the School of Business.
Oh, fantastic.
So from the School of Hospitality and Tourism, opening up restaurants, catering,
Right.
we had spa management, somebody did like a mobile nail salon. So
Right.
Summit is a kind of our entrepreneurial boot camp. So it's 3 months in the summer, and I'll talk a little bit about what happened last year because it's just much easier. It's going to change a little bit. We're just not sure how. But last summer it ran from May to July. It was 3 days a week from 9 to 4 with an hour lunch. And the idea is you send us an application, you pitch your idea to us, people come in, and I think last year we had about 60 applicants. We had 27 pitch, and we had 17 students, 14 of which stuck with us for the 3 months.
Wow, what a great turnout.
So every single of these 3 days, morning and afternoon workshops on, as I said, about 60 different topics. So UX design, writing your mission, vision, value, your business model canvas. We even had a meditation session because entrepreneurs are so stressed out. And the idea is that we have experts who come in their field, so internal to the college, external to the college. They lecture is such a bad word, but they kind of impart wisdom for about
Information session.
Perfect, for about an hour and a half, and then they're there to answer questions because, as you can understand, you've got 14 people in here who all want to say, you know, how do I write my mission vision? How do how do I do this? So the idea is some listening and learning, and then some application.
Right.
And then we had off-sites. We went to see different businesses in the community. We had some mentorship sessions. We had some entrepreneurship spotlights. So people came in, talked about their business, and were there just basically to say, learn from me, here's what I did well, here's what I didn't do well, here was my entrepreneurial journey, and
Right.
people got to ask questions. And in the end, you kind of graduate with a certificate, which is really just a piece of paper that said, you know, you have attended 198 hours, but really, what we did is we taught them some hard business skills, but also what we learned was important was some of the soft stuff. So learning about collaborating, communication, right. being agile, all the things you need to do when you're an entrepreneur.
Right.
So it's kind of the hard business skills of how do you do a business model canvas to the soft, how do you collaborate? What do you do when you go to a networking session? You know, you don't wear your hat backwards. You know, you have to have your 30-second elevator pitch. So we taught them how to pitch. A lot. They did a lot of pitching to be comfortable, and it was great. At the beginning, we had people shaking when they pitched, and in the end, they were like, this is my business. This is what I'm doing.
They're not even the same person.
Not the same person in 3 months. It was crazy.
That's powerful. It's a transformation.
Absolutely. So hopefully, like I said, they come in with an idea, and this idea, if it's possible, it's market ready. If not, we've moved them along to validation, to hopefully speaking to people and at least moving them along their journey. And then they get to come and use the center whenever they want afterwards. Some people have some space in the back, designated space, and we work with them with mentors to continue this journey to get their business market ready.
Yeah, wonderful. How much does this cost?
Just your time, your efforts,
wonderful.
your energy. There's
no barrier.
There's absolutely no cost at all. And like I said, with Summit, we actually give you money to participate. So,
there you go.
So it's kind of the idea that that's your summer job. You know, we give you enough. Last year was $3,000, and because it's 3 days a week, you can work outside as well, which a lot of the participants did.
Right.
But other than that, there's no cost here. So
Wonderful.
it really is your time because everything here is entrepreneur driven. So if you have a mentor, he's not going to be knocking at your door saying, Dave, you haven't called me. How come? It's your time, your effort, because if you're going to run a business, there's not going to be anybody there pulling you out of the bed in the morning. You've got to have the motivation. So,
absolutely.
So if you have time, if you have effort, if you have passion, if you have an idea.
Yeah. So if you're a first-year student, it's really important that you step into this class as soon as possible, step into this Ignite Center, because time is our greatest asset. And if you're only going to be at Algonquin College for 1 year or 2 years, you got to get in here as soon as possible to utilize this resource for everything it has for you. Yeah. It's been open for 8 months.
Yep.
I guess it started just when I was starting my second semester. And as soon as I found out about it, I've been in here almost daily. I try to use this for as much as everything it can provide me. And this is evidence right here. The fact that we're recording the show right now just shows the ability that Leanna has given us to do what we need to do and to reach out, and much like Leanna, just trying to get everybody out outside of the hallway and into this facility, because outside of Algonquin College, if you don't drive, like if you're a young student, there's a lot of places you can go to, but you got to access them. You got a bus there, or if you're driving, you got to find parking. It's not as easily accessible as it is right here on campus if you're already going to school here. So it's here. Use it. That's what they want to do, is help you.
Exactly.
So I don't know if I don't have any more questions for you, Leanna.
No, I just say we would love to have you come in, and I think the most important thing is, like what Dave said, is you know, use it. It's here to be used, and I think the biggest thing is having people like you in here building up this ecosystem, helping to build up this ecosystem. And we often say it's the kind of collisions. And you meet other people, you meet like-minded people. Sometimes you might meet your business partner, you might meet your co-founder, you might meet somebody who's going to, you know, do your app development. And if not, you're going to have some great conversations with like-minded people who are passionate and kind of have the same mindset as you. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we've seen that's fantastic here, is kind of the connections that have been made. Both business-wise, but also personally, and I think that's the most fantastic thing. So please come and fill up the space. That's what we're here for.
Wonderful. So how can people reach you aside from walking in that front door? Yeah. What are your social?
So we have Twitter, and it's Ignite ACC at Ignite ACC, and then we have a number of different email addresses. Okay. Just for, as you can understand, we get a number of different emails, so we've kind of put them in. If you want a mentor, here's how you get a hold of us. Okay. I think you're going to put it underneath, but just in case, so it's mentorship at Algonquin College. Okay. If you just have a general question, it's on entrepreneurship at algonquincollege.com. And then if you need to book space, it's a different one. It's bookingnite at algonquincollege.com. So if you can't come in here, that's a really good first line of kind of communication. And then we will send you any information. Like if you want to book a mentor, we send you a sheet so you're in our system and we understand what your business is and, you know, what questions you have, so we can set you up from the beginning. If it's to book space, it's pretty easy. When, why? And if you just have a general question, like where are you, how do we do this, then we answer it back. And feel free to ask us these very same questions, and I'll be sure to reach out to Leanna and get these things answered for you. But really, there's nothing better than a face-to-face. Come on in anytime. Thank you so much, Leanna. You're welcome. Thank you.
Before we close with episode 2, I just want to remind everybody to follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. I'm putting content on there. We're getting a little better at it. This project is me building this so I get out of my comfort zone and start doing social. It's something I was never really good at, but I realize now that if people aren't aware of what you're doing, you're not going to be able to sell or do or talk to anybody about what you're doing. This is the way communication is done today, so you have to get good at it. So please feel free to follow us on all of those. Ask us questions. If there's one takeaway from this episode, is don't be afraid to ask. We can't help you if you don't ask. So thank you very much, everybody. This is it for episode 2, and we will see you episode 3, hopefully in a week. Take care, everybody.